Hey everyone, it's me, Fiona Jane, aka Dr. Hikaru, here with another video. This was another short one. Thanks for watching and commenting on my last video, and also thanks for your support on Instagram on things that have been happening with me lately. I still need to work on my doctor questionnaire. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to formulate some of my questions to gather some data from everyone to hear what you're doing. Sorry, that was Saya, my little girl. She decided she would have a nice burp. So today's topic, and it's going to be a short one too, is the ugly side of endo. And it's kind of a hard one to talk about. I don't know if you guys have seen my latest Instagram photo where it basically shows my stomach bloated to where I look a few months pregnant. And I have heard of what is called the endo belly before. I've been fortunate to have not experienced it until last week. And when I was done with work and finally in my hotel room after a long day, I looked down and saw my belly bloated in a way it's never been bloated before, and I kind of just broke down crying. It's really hard for me to post that photo on Facebook it cross-posted to one of my Facebook, on Instagram, because it's embarrassing. It's not just I ate a lot of food and my belly was full. I mean, my entire stomach was reshaped because my uterus was swollen so bad, and this is what we call the endo belly. I'll put a link down in the description of the specific picture. It's open to the public. And I was a little overwhelmed by the responses I got from other women and people who were just sharing support for me. It was really hard to post that photo because it grosses me out. I mean, thinking about it and talking about it, and I got a lot of questions on, why did you even take a photo? I took a photo because I was paranoid. It was all in my head, and that I was just imagining my stomach was bloated. And that was not the case. The dark side of endo are moments like this, where I have a bloated belly that I look pregnant and I'm not. The pain associated with it, the crying that goes on behind closed doors, the mental anguish it causes you when you're in serious pain, and it's coming from your reproductive organs. You do not feel attractive or pretty or good in any way, shape, or form. You may have happy thoughts, but you don't feel good. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel good about your outlook in life. You don't feel good about your belly. And you go down this dark path where you just try to stay positive, and it doesn't work. Like for me, every time I tried to ignore my belly, I'd look down and I just start crying again. And even thinking about it makes me kind of tear up. I mean, it is such a strong negative emotion, especially when you get a physical manifestation like that is so wrong, so not what you want. And in a lot of ways, it is a very mean trick for my endo sisters who want and crave children, want to have their own biological children, have struggled many, many years trying to get their body to a way where it will not just conceive, but carry the baby through 9 months. I hear so many sad stories of my endo sisters losing their baby after the joy of conceiving, and to see your belly bloat like you're pregnant is a cruel joke. It's cruel. And that's what I kind of wanted to talk about today, was just that dark side that if I wasn't so open with endo already, and it's been a challenge, and the fact that I get such positive feedback from everyone is another reason why I speak. I don't speak because I want your pity. I speak because people need to be educated and aware that a condition like this exists, and it's not fun, and it is so not in my head. And I heard of an endo sister who's diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder because of the amount of times as a young teenager suffering this disease, she has been told it's in her head. She has been told it's not real. She's been told that her pain is not there. There are doctors that are not empathetic at all. And you hear it from so many doctors. Like I've said many times, my first OBGYN, I thought I was going nuts because she would not believe that there was anything wrong with me. Your ultrasound's fine. Your periods are pretty normal. I'm in pain. I'm in pain. I am in excruciating pain to where I will not get up and have a life, not leave my bed. I'm afraid to go to the bathroom. That is not normal. The other scary things are when you're bleeding so much, you feel like you have a miscarriage. I posted about that a couple of weeks ago when I was having a severe vaginal infection. And yes, that's not pretty either. And yeast infections aren't pretty either. And I'm sorry if this type of language offends you, but that is the not so pretty side of endo. When periods enough are bad to watch stuff coming out of you and you become acclimated to it and you become used to it as a woman, you do not become used to seeing carnage in your bathroom to where you feel like you miscarried and you're having a miscarriage and abortion in your toilet. Okay, no, I've never had a miscarriage or an abortion, and I apologize to those who might have and disagree with that type of description, but I have no other way to express what I felt when I saw these masses of tissues and extreme red blood coming out of me into the toilet with severe cramps. You know, it scared me. And I sat on the toilet crying and I was embarrassed, and I mentioned it to my doctor, and they said it was just a lot of the tissue leaving me because endometriosis will do weird special things with your endometrial lining, your uterus lining. And that is what makes this disease just so not pretty, on top of the depression, the anxiety, the loneliness, the chronic pain, the nausea, the feeling that you just can't do anything anymore. That is the ugly side of endo. And most of the women I know are ashamed to talk about it, embarrassed to talk about it. We feel dirty talking about things like this, about natural things that shouldn't be painful, that shouldn't be traumatic, and here we are going to the doctor and not getting sympathy half the time. And again, I'm not saying this because I want you to feel sorry for me. I will admit I feel sorry for myself, but that's the depression speaking for you right there. And just the utter frustration of having to deal with something like this and knowing there's no cure, and knowing that half the doctors out there don't even believe us. You know? So the next time you hear about someone who has endometriosis, or you learn about it, just think for a second about the ugly side that they choose not to tell you about, they choose not to show you. Nobody wants to show pictures of themselves crying or in bed, or God forbid, it's so disgusting and obscene and graphic. I would never show you what comes out during that time of the month. And it's ugly. This disease is ugly, and we need a cure, and we need to raise awareness, and we need education out there so that women know it's okay to talk about it. It's not in your head. It's not this psychological manifestation that doesn't exist. And I've heard many reasons why people think that we imagine these traumatic things until you find a doctor, or you find somebody who suffers, who's willing to talk about it. And most of the women I know are not willing to talk about it as part of their day-to-day because it's ugly, because it's scary, because it's foreign, because most people don't understand it. Most people don't want to understand. A lot of people can't understand, and it's just frustration, and it's banging your head on the wall, and it's wanting to cry at 3 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning, 9 p.m. in the evening, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I mean, not trying to sound like a rant, but it struck a chord with me when a lot of the ladies commented that it's a hard thing to talk about, because it is. And so I want to speak for all my endo sisters that have been afraid to. I wanted to hide it. I wanted to hide that my belly bloated. I wanted to act like it never happened and move on with my life. And then I realized I couldn't deal with it until I was willing to accept that it was true and it was happening. And the first thing I really thought was, this is all in my head. And it's sad when that's the first thing you think. So that's the ugly side of endo. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your support again. I truly appreciate all the comments. I have more things to talk about. I'm just slowly trying to get to the point where I can talk about them. So bear with me. I'm still working on that survey. I'm excited that I'm getting more into the Endo March 2014, which will happen in Washington, D.C., an internationally coordinated event where a million women will be marching for this cause, this severely painful, degrading disease that just debilitates you and just sucks the happiness out of you, you know. It's the holiday season. I'm a little too wrapped up in my endo right now to concentrate on that. But thanks for listening again, and I'm signing off for now, or ending this video. Stay strong, my endo family. Thank you so much, my endo supporters and my endo family. And anything you guys want me to talk about, let me know. I'd be glad to do a segment on things you'd like explained, or my thoughts on endo or PMDD, which I've kind of not been focusing as much anymore because I encompass it in endo, but they are two different things. And this was about the dark side of endo, the ugly side of endo. So, all right, thanks guys. Bye.